Alright, so today we're going to talk about graphing radicals again. In this video we will talk about how to fill out a table of values and how to identify the horizontal shift, the vertical shift or transformation, and the stretching or shrinking of my graph. So first thing that we should know is that I cannot have any negative numbers inside of a radical. So inside an even radical, a square root, so inside of an even radical, I cannot have any negatives. And why is that? Well, if we think about square roots, or squaring numbers, a square root just asks, like for example 16, what two numbers multiplied by themselves get me 16? Or what number multiplied by itself gets me 16? In this case, 4 times 4 gets you 16, and negative 4 times negative 4 also gets you a positive 16. So the reason why I can never have a negative inside a square root is because it doesn't matter if my number is positive. If it's positive, a positive times a positive gets me a negative. Or sorry, positive times positive gets me a positive, not a negative. And if it's a negative times a negative will also get me a positive, which is not a negative. I can never get a negative by squaring a number. So for example, simplifying some square roots, what I can do is I can simplify first what's inside of the square root. So I would simplify 16 minus 7 is 9. That would be my first step. Do any addition, subtraction, multiplication that you have underneath the radical first. And that would get me 3 times 3 would be 9. But it could also be negative 3, because negative 3 times negative 3, negative times a negative, also gets you a positive 9. Or on number 2, I would take the square root of, and I would add those two up, square root of 100. And I'm going to get 2 answers again. So what two numbers multiply to get a positive 100? Or what number times itself gets you a positive 100? Well, 10 times 10 gets you a positive 100. So does negative 10 times negative 10. Negative 10 squared would get you a positive 100. All right, let's try 3 and 4. I'd like you to pause the video and then unpause and check your work. So number 3, you should have square root of 49, which is either positive 7 or negative 7. And the square root of a negative 16, that is not possible. There is no solution, because I cannot square any number and get a negative. Like we talked about earlier, square a positive number, get a positive. Square a negative number, also get a positive. So there's no way to take the square root of a negative number. That would be no solution. For the addition subtraction outside the radical, what you would do is take your square root first. So this would be square root of 100 is either 10 plus 21, or the square root of 100 could be negative 10 plus that 21. Same thing with 49. It could be 7 minus 13, or it could be negative 7 minus 13. And you'll get 2 answers. So you'll get 31 or 11. And here you would get negative 6 or negative 20. Alright, I'd like you to take a second and try 7 and 8. Again, pause the video, unpause to check your work. And this would be either 4 plus 3 or negative 4 plus 3. So you get 7 or negative 1. And this would either get you 6 minus 6 or negative 6 minus 6. So you get 0 or negative 12, depending on which square root you're talking about. So with multiplication or division, if you have multiplication or division outside, what you would do first is you would simplify what's underneath the radical. So that will always be your first step. That's my first step. So now I have 4 times either 2, or it could be 4 times negative 2, because the square root of 4 could be positive 2 or negative 2. So you either get 8 or you get negative 8. But what do I do if I have something out front and I have addition? Well, this is where you would follow your PEMDAS, your order of operations. And I really don't like calling it PEMDAS, but here we are. This is my order of operations, is what it is. So I need to do my parentheses first, no parentheses, exponents. Your square roots are going to fall under the exponent category. So I'm going to do that first. Square root of 25 could be 5, or it could be negative 5. And now you have 2 expressions to simplify. And again, follow your order of operations. You did your exponents, now do your multiplying. And now do your addition or subtraction. So this would be either 22 or negative 18. Those are your 2 options. All right, let's take a look at 11 and 12. I'd like you to try those on your own, and then again, unpause when you're done and check your answers. So this could either be 3 times 12 plus 3 or 3 times negative 12 plus 3. So this is either 39 or negative 33. And this one would either be 13 or negative 7. So check out the transformations video coming up next, and I will see you soon.